It is time for the Monday mailbag. This is the part of the show where we go into our inbox, we take your questions, we find some answers, and maybe some other interesting stuff along the way. So let's start tonight with a crazy story about flesh-eating bacteria at the North Carolina coast. It's called Vibrio. North Carolina has confirmed 7 infections so far this year. The risk is especially high during the summer in that warm, brackish water. That's that mix of salt and fresh water. A viewer named Marlo wanted to know, can you go to the local market at the Outer Banks, and is it safe to eat the shellfish if cooked? So Marlo, thank you for the question. A lot of people were confused about this. You can absolutely still go to those local seafood markets at the coast. You just need to be a little bit careful. The state health department and the CDC both have warnings about this Vibrio, saying do not eat raw or improperly cooked seafood, especially oysters. Now, why oysters, you might be wondering? Well, because of how they eat. They filter water over the gills and trap tiny plankton and algae and that sort of thing. But Vibrio can make it past that filter and could concentrate in the oyster's tissues. And that sounds, well, pretty gross. The point is, if you go to a seafood market, handle things carefully, whatever you buy. Don't let any of those juices from raw seafood fall onto other foods, and don't eat anything raw. Hot sauce and lemons aren't killing the bacteria. Only cooking can do that. So cook them, steam them, something like that. It's just the way you got to do it. Next up, I got a couple of questions about the future of the DMV. You wanted to know about those digital driver's licenses, basically a driver's license that's right there on your phone. Bill asked, would you please look into it and see if and when digital licenses are coming to North Carolina? Bill isn't making this up because they were supposed to be here by now. Last year, Governor Cooper signed House Bill 199 legalizing these digital driver's licenses. That was supposed to be implemented on July 1st, but classic DMV. The plan is experiencing a few delays. But look, it's not just North Carolina that's lagging behind on this. According to the IDscan.net website, 22 states are in a similar position. They're still working on this technology. Those are the ones you see shaded yellow on this map. 10 states haven't made any moves on digital IDs. Those are in the red. And 18 states shaded in green already have mobile IDs. Louisiana, in fact, was the first. Theirs is called LA Wallet, or Le Wallet if you're fancy. They started rolling out mobile IDs since back in 2018. And today, nearly 1.5 million people have those mobile IDs in Louisiana, and it's working out pretty well. Their app holds driver's licenses, car registration, gun permits, all that sort of stuff. You can even use it to get through the line at airport security. North Carolina wants to do this too, but when it comes to the DMV, getting stuff done has appeared to be a bit of a challenge time and time again. Last week, the state auditor released a report on the DMV. It found all kinds of problems, all the stuff that we have known about for a while, especially if we've ever gone. The delays, the long lines, the lack of staffing, all that kind of stuff. But the audit also talked about the digital IDs, and it estimates a full launch won't happen until at least September of 2026. And the process could cost as much as $1.4 million with an annual maintenance cost of about $600,000 a year. The report also suggests launching a smaller pilot program, but these are all suggestions, right? It's up to lawmakers to actually move forward with any of this stuff. We'll be watching. Now to a question we got after all that rain and flooding that we have seen in our area over the past few weeks that we continue to see even tonight. A viewer named Mary wrote in and asked, with all the flooded roads and parking lots, what happens to those vehicles that get flooded out? So that is a great question, Mary. WRAL's 5 on Your Side actually reported on this sort of thing a long time ago, and it has done so for a very long time. You see, people will often try to salvage those cars and then resell them at auction, but the cars must be branded as flood damaged on the title if they do that. Problem is, they don't always do that. Scammers will find a way around it. It's a problem 5 on Your Side, again, has been covering for a while, especially after Helene hit western North Carolina. So here's a quick clip from that story.
For months, 5 on Your Side has tracked 4 Helene flooded vehicles sold at auction, including the Camry. 3 had their titles branded as flooded, and everything worked the way it should. The 4th vehicle, this 2023 Chevrolet Traverse, was sold, but 4 months later, the title still hasn't been updated with the NCDMV, and the flood damage doesn't show up on a Carfax report or other vehicle history reports that we checked.
There could be a scammer that takes a water-damaged car to a state that has a more lax title branding and reporting standard. And when that happens, it could result in what is a clean title, or what many call, of course, title washing.
So what do, right? What if you were in the market for a used car? How can you tell if the car you're looking to buy has lingering flood damage? Even if it looks okay at first glance, they can do a good job of cleaning all that up. Well, 5 on Your Side covered that part of it too and put together this great how-to video.
First thing you want to do is come over to the front of the car. Inhale and see if there's any kind of moldy or musty smell. If you have that, you definitely want to walk away from the car. Next, pop up the trim panel on the side of the door here. If the carpet is dirty or if there's any kind of sediment in here or rust. Also look in the door pockets. If there's any kind of sediment in here or dirt or stones, that's what happened when the water came up and in the car, and as it drained away, it settled and hid in there. Pop off some of the caps and covers for the seat bolts. If these are scratched up or even look rusted, that means the seat was taken out so it can air dry. Look where a spare tire would be kept. If it's got sound deadening, smell if it's musty or moldy smelling. See if there's any rust on exposed screws, on the panels, or even on the tools like the jack or the jack stand. Look along the back of the engine bay, and there's some soft material here. It's sound deadening. When water rose and stays when the car is flooded, it's going to recede and leave a flood line. If there's anything like that, walk away from the vehicle.
All right, did you get all that? Some good advice there. Did you notice how I let 5 on Your Side do most of my reporting tonight? Look, work smart, not hard. What else does the news need to be covering? Send me an email, dan@WRAL.com. Your questions, your feedback, they drive this segment and this newscast here at 7 o'clock. So please tell me what is on your mind, and we will go in depth.